Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. I have an update to share about two of Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So Dana Winn is a 45-year-old veteran from Florida who was seen in photos and on surveillance video inside the Capitol. And he was with his 40-year-old girlfriend at the time, Rachel Pert. She is also from Florida. Winn live streamed to Facebook on January 5th, and he said that they were on their way to the Capitol. And he said, quote, "'Cause us as American patriots, we're tired of all this shit. It's time to take a stand. I never really knew how deep and corrupt all this crap was and how far back it's gone. But America needs to wake up. We're on the verge of fucking losing it." And he said that they were taking flagpoles to the Capitol to, quote, "hit Antifa in the head if need be." Investigators also say that as Winn and Pert were leaving the Capitol, Pert was heard saying, quote, "Wow, all those barricades are down now. Remember when we came in, there was barricades." Were barricades? Anyway, yeah, the barricades were there for a reason. So Winn replied, quote, "The Patriots took them." Yet when they were interviewed by the FBI, both Winn and Pert admitted to entering the Capitol, but they claimed that no one told them that they couldn't enter the building. Again, those barricades were there for a reason. That's kind of why you weren't allowed past that point. Get it? Anyway, Winn and Pert were arrested on January 26. They were both indicted on charges of obstructing an official proceeding, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and 1 count of parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. So based on just the obstruction charge, they were each facing up to 20 years in prison. So they decided to take a plea deal in October. But unlike other nonviolent offenders, for some reason, these two were forced to plead guilty to the charge of entering a restricted building or grounds. Now, that's still a misdemeanor, but it's different than the parading charge that we usually see because this carries a maximum penalty of up to 1 year in prison and up to $100,000 in fines. So steeper penalty, both financially, both prison time wise. However, for some reason, even though prosecutors demanded that they plead to that charge, they were only seeking 3 months of home confinement. They weren't even asking for prison time. They also wanted 24 months of probation, 40 hours of community service, and a $500 restitution fee. So that's for each of them. And in the sentencing memos submitted by their attorneys, Winn and Pert each said that they wish they hadn't gone to D.C. Pert's memo stated that she has, quote, "never been politically active or vocal." And now one interesting thing that happened in this case surrounds their sentencing hearing. Both Winn and Pert requested a virtual hearing. And the reason they gave was that they said, we both work full time. Pert is a single mother of 2. She would require childcare. And then they cited their lack of funds in order to travel to DC for an in-person hearing. Well, the judge was pretty irritated with this request. And the judge wrote in response, quote, "Defendants found the means to travel to Washington, D.C. to commit the crime to which they have pled guilty. Defendants can therefore find the means to return to Washington, D.C. to be held accountable for this crime." So in the end, Winn was sentenced to 10 days in jail, which he will serve or is serving intermittently on the weekends only, I'm assuming, to give him the leeway or freedom to work. He was also given 12 months of probation, 100 hours of community service, and he was ordered to pay a $500 restitution fee. Pert, on the other hand, received no jail time, but they gave her 24 months of probation, 100 community service hours, and then she was also ordered to pay that $500 restitution fee. I just don't even know what to say. Why are you going to pressure these people to take a plea deal for entering restricted building or grounds so they have a maximum penalty of up to 1 year in prison, and then you don't even ask for that? You don't even ask for the maximum, knowing that the judges are being, most of them are being way too lenient, are going to let them off the hook. You go in with a weak ass offer and request. You always start on the high end. You always negotiate on the high end first, and you let the other person talk you down. What the hell? Seriously, this is ridiculous. And you know, these people, like the judge said, they can find the time off from work, they can find the childcare, they can find the funds to go travel to DC for a lie, for a complete and utter fabrication that if they had just looked into it, they would have known was completely false. Over 60 judges are wrong, but you're right. Yeah, over 60 judges, some of whom were appointed by Trump, but you know better because you saw it on Facebook, because you heard about it through your cousin's friends, sisters, aunts, step cousins, uncle, her father, who saw it on Tucker Carlson. Yeah. I'm losing patience. Anyway, I will let you guys know if I hear any more. Thanks for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.